Okay, we have been over Lovage in our mini medicinal garden series, and today we are adding lavender. Yes, lavender, guys. I absolutely love the smell of lavender. But before we get started, we've got a little yard work to do. If you are new to the channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me today here in my garden. If you are not subscribed to the channel, take a second and subscribe to the channel. Turn on that notification bell so you won't miss
Second bit
anything.
of yard work we need to take care of is I want to let you know that everything I am saying in regards to my medicinal garden, I am not in the medical profession. This is my experience, this is my journey, and I am sharing it with you. Be sure to do your own research and don't change until you speak to your doctor first. Okay. Just wanted to make that clear. I am not a nutritionist, a dietitian, and I am definitely not a doctor. I am Pam. And again, this is my journey that I am sharing with you. Now, we know lavender can have a wonderful scent, and that's one of the reasons why I like to have it in my garden. When I come out here and I smell the lavender, and when the wind blows, like today it's very windy, and when that wind blows, oh my goodness, the scent, I could just stay out here all day. Lavender is also used in a lot of other products like soaps and things like essential oils, things that provide a lot of fragrance for our home and our bodies. I've also found, though, that lavender is one of those scents you either love it or you hate it. And me, I love it. One of the things I like about lavender, it is both drought and heat tolerant. That means it's going to work well in the summertime. You know, sometimes you can't get out to water exactly when you want to, and there's no rain. So having herbs in your garden that are drought and heat tolerant, amazing. It also has a lot of medicinal effects. One of them is azeolytic. You're saying to yourself, what in the world is azeolytic? Azeolytic is actually a Greek word combining two words, azeo, which means anxiety, and lytic, which means to loosen. So in essence, one of the effects is that it loosens, it helps you release anxiety. It's also known to be anti-inflammatory, an antioxidant, and to have antimicrobial effects, as well as antonociceptive, which aids in the nervous system for things like pain, among other things. Again, do your research and no changes unless you speak to your doctor. I'm just telling you what my research has found and why I'm planting certain medicinal herbs in my garden. In the culinary world, lavender is mostly used to infuse dishes. You can make things like lavender lemonade, lavender shortbread cookies. It can also be dried or dehydrated, and then you can sprinkle it on things like meringue or icing. You can also use the flowers to put on different desserts like edible flowers. When you are using lavender, depending on how you're using it to cook with, in the culinary world, it can have notes of pine, it can be rosemary, it can even provide a citrusy type of flavor, taste, scent, all of those notes lavender has. Now, you all have been with me. You know, I am trying to turn my garden to be 90% perennial. And yes, lavender is a perennial herb. What does that mean? I'll go over it again. I said it last time in my other video for lovage. Perennial means that it has at least 2-3 years. Sometimes it can have a lifetime, but it will come back. Most perennials will grow in whatever season they're supposed to grow in, spring, summer, or fall. Then they will die back in the winter. And then you don't have to do anything. It will come back again in the spring. A lot of things, if you don't have a garden, one of my favorite flowers, and this has nothing to do with lavender, but one of my favorite flowers is a tulip. And although it seems to me tulips don't last long, they come back every year. And they are some of the first flowers to poke their heads out around and about in my garden. So I love tulips because they are perennial. I don't have to replant them every single year. And that's what I'm working for. We need to work smarter, not harder, in our garden. Now, with lavender seeds, they need to be stratified. So what is stratified? That means that they need a period of cold before they will be able to germinate. Typically, each seed that needs to be stratified will need a certain amount of cold time, and each seed may be a little bit different. This one in particular needs about 3 to 4 weeks before it can germinate. So I will be putting this in wet paper towels, top and bottom, cover the seeds that I want to plant. Then I'm going to put the wet paper towels in a plastic bag. Then the plastic bag will go in the refrigerator for 3 to 4 whole weeks before I get ready to plant them outside. This is going to allow them to germinate. So if you are growing from seeds, be sure to read the back of your packet, and it says it needs to be stratified. That's what you need to do. And don't skip that step, because then you'll be wondering, why aren't my seeds germinating? Well, they didn't have the cold time that they needed. So make sure if your plants need or your seeds need to be stratified, you follow and get them stratified. Okay? So I will be doing that 3 to 4 weeks out. Now, lavender typically will germinate. The seeds will germinate between 10 and 21 days. Now, when you hear me or anyone talk about your seeds germinating during a particular time, like I just said, 10 to 21 days, that's not written in stone. Your seeds might germinate in 7 days. Your seeds might germinate in 30 days. There's no rhyme or reason to it. These instructions on the back of the packet are pretty much general. That's typical. It's when they have been known to germinate. And for lavender, that's 10 to 21 days. You also need a soil temp of between 70 and 80 degrees Fahrenheit. And it needs to have full sun in order to do well. So lavender is number 2 on my list in my medicinal garden. Again, if you are new to the channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me today here in my garden. It's pretty windy out here, so I hope you guys could hear me okay. It's beautiful to say it's just the end of February. You see, I have on short sleeves out here. It is absolutely amazingly beautiful. To my returning subscribers, thank you so much for coming back and hanging out with me. Anyone that's not subscribed, take a second and subscribe to the channel. Share the video out, because someone else may want to do a medicinal garden and want some information as well. And to my channel members, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I'm Pam. This is Zone 8A. And anywhere you can sit a pot, you can grow a plant.